All right, welcome to Liftoff, a new interview series where I talk with leaders in the financial services and real estate spaces about how they're building and scaling their businesses. I'm Rob Cohen, seasoned finance and real estate veteran, and more recently AI solution expert. Today I'm joined by Spencer from Next Home Modern Realty. Welcome, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy week so far.
Good. Busy's good.
Absolutely, cannot complain.
Cool. Glad to have you on. So as I understand it, Next Home is obviously in the real estate space. But why don't you start off by giving us a background on yourself and your company and what exactly it is that you guys do.
Well, I graduated college in 2021. Had really no idea what I wanted to do with my life, as most college kids are. My family's in different forms of real estate. My parents do commercial real estate, and I've kind of always had this exposure to it, but never really had this push to kind of get into the family business.
Sure.
Being a college student,
I can relate.
Having that kind of identity crisis of what's next, I said, you know what, well, I should try to get into something I know. And so I started asking around, and my aunt and uncle actually owned a vacation rental company up here.
You're in New Hampshire, right?
We're in New Hampshire, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small one, renting out, lake homes in and around the Lake Sunapee area, and they were looking to make a change. And so I said, what if I bought it? I don't have any money. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'll go get a license and kind of get into this and learn it.
So starting off with a brokerage license.
Exactly, and I had to do that from the ground up. So I had to go graduate. I graduated, then studied for my real estate exam, then had to learn how to run a vacation rental company.
Okay. Yep.
I ended up having my college support me in doing it, so they gave me some interns. My best friend from college helped me get the company off the ground, which was kind of nice. So we went from 10 properties to 30 properties and did that for about 2 or 3 years, and then one of those properties sold.
When you say we went from this amount of properties, are those properties that you're acquiring, or are they just agreements with owners? And how are you running these rentals?
So keep in mind, broke college student, right? So I had to find a way to make money.
Right, I was wondering how you're getting all these homes.
Exactly, right? So I approached these owners and said, listen, for X amount of commission, we'll rent the house, we'll write you a check.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, got it.
Yeah, and it worked out pretty well. The lake houses in our area in the summer are very, very
beautiful
popular.
Up there in the summer. Yeah, I went to camp in New England.
Most of them booked pretty regularly.
Yeah.
We had a lot of repeat business.
Sure.
So that was going really well, and again, segueing into building your financial future and being excited about now you're making your first kind of decent chunk of change.
Yep.
We just kept charging at it, and then one of our homes sold. And when I say our houses,
I know what you mean now. Yeah.
And they did not ask us to sell the house.
Oh, that's not so nice.
Right. They assumed because I was just a vacation rental manager that I was not a broker who could sell homes. They just thought we did the rental side.
Yeah.
And to an extent, that's true. But a real estate agent in New Hampshire is a real estate agent. You can do rentals, you can sell a house. So I went to my dad and I said, well, here's what happened. It was an expensive house, a couple $1 million.
Would have been a nice one to sell.
And by the way, the realtor used all of our information because we knew everything about the house. So we filled out the disclosures and helped them. Where's the propane? Where's this?
Man.
I said, we can't let this happen again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do we fix this? And so we did some Googling and some talking, and he talked to some of his buddies, and we found this company called Next Home. And Next Home is I guess we're considered a boutique firm, but they're a nationwide company, franchise. They're based out of California. And we made a phone call to their essentially recruiting department and said, here's what just happened to us. We have a vacation rental business. We have some experience in real estate, but we've never run a brokerage firm ever.
Well, I guess my question to you is, do you just have your salesperson license, or do you have an actual brokerage?
So at the time, I just had my sales, and then I had gone for my broker's license while all this was happening.
Yep. Okay.
I was pretty motivated. I thought there was a world where I could get that sale. So I was trying to do it and work hard at it, but the timing just didn't end up working out.
Yeah, sure.
So when we called Next Home, we were expecting to kind of be like, WTF, what do you mean you've never sold a house and you want to buy our franchise and, get into this? And that was totally not their response. They were like, if you're motivated, we'll help you build a brokerage firm, help you build a brand. We'll give you all the resources you need to do this. And essentially, like, when can you start? So we got to work again.
When was this?
And this was, so let me get my timeline. So I graduated in 2021. So 3 years would be, I think we bought the firm in 2023.
Okay.
2022.
A couple years ago.
Exactly. And this whole time I had the vacation rental business, but now I had the ability to sell. The way the seasonal markets shift here is the summer you have no life because of vacation rentals, right? Which also corresponds with selling houses. That's the busiest time to sell houses here is summer and fall. And so Next Home kind of just bumped along a little bit. And then come that fall, I don't know what changed. I don't know if our marketing took off. We had just been screaming from the rooftops, somebody let us sell their house. But we then did 7 transactions from the end of that year, September to December. And I got forced to make a decision of, well, do you take a leap of faith and kind of like you've only done 7, but lean into it, see if you can do more? Or do you stick to the vacation rentals, which is this comfortable business and you can plan your income and that kind of stuff? And so I sat down with my parents and I said, I think I got to move on from the vacation rentals and I think I'm going to do Next Home full time. And most parents probably would not err on the side of your son's telling you that he's giving up steady income, established. Not mine.
Yeah, but you're young, you're not risk averse, you're looking for more upside for sure.
Exactly, and that's pretty much what both of them said. They were very helpful in the sense we'll help you, get it closed up and move on to the next phase. And that's how Next Home really started to take off, and we started taking over our market. So
it looks like if I'm on your website, you guys, I mean, there's categories here for finance, home valuation. So are you have additional services? You're not just a simple brokerage?
Correct. So we don't have our own finance division. We have actually a very close partnership with North Point Mortgage.
Okay.
And so we pass all our business back and forth there.
Okay.
Pretty much a one-stop shop through some of those connections.
Got it. Okay, yeah. I looks like you got a beautiful picture on your website.
Welcome to New Hampshire. Have you ever been to New Hampshire?
Yes, I have. I climbed Mount Washington when I was a kid. It's been a minute, but no, I was up in New England a few weeks ago in Connecticut at a buddy's lake house, and I'm sure it's similar. I mean, New England is just full of like unbelievably beautiful summer getaway lake house kind of places.
This is the best time of year. I'm not a big skier. I grew up skiing, and the winter now is just cold and miserable. So spring, summer, fall are my preferred seasons.
Sure. So, I mean, let me ask you this though. So, what do you think it is that why did people start coming to you? Are you solving a particular problem for folks that the other or just other real estate agents weren't doing the best job with? Or I mean, what are you doing better that's landing you all this business?
Well, simple answer is we're working, right? So it's common in the real estate space, or from what I understand in my limited time in the space, is my job ends here. And you ask me for a phone call at 7:01, I stopped working at 7 o'clock. I only sell houses in the $1 million price point. I don't touch anything under a certain amount. I don't drive to this area.
Okay.
We say yes to everything. And the difference, I really think, when I say work, is people understand that. You need help, I want to help you. I'm not in this, first I'm in this to make money, just really because I need to survive and provide for my family. But second, I want to make a connection. I want to help you. It's a service business.
Right.
And I think people get that mixed up sometimes. And our clients, and most of them come from referrals, we're like, well, what do you mean you're on the phone with us at 8 o'clock at night? We have service providers we're connecting them with. I've had to do closings this is nuts, but I've had to arrange closings where the clients have gone on vacation before their closing. Most recently, to the food ranch in Wyoming, I had to figure out how the closing happened. That's the piece that we're up for the challenge. And in our area, we don't live in this huge city. I mean, probably about 20,000 people.
Which city are you in?
Lebanon.
Okay.
So Lebanon's the third, maybe it's the fourth biggest city in New Hampshire.
Like Manchester and Concord.
Exactly, and it's this interesting kind of mix. We call ourselves the Upper Valley. It's a combination of a bunch of little towns, but Lebanon's kind of like the hub. So you have, all your chains, all your big restaurants, all that kind of stuff. In 10 minutes, though, you could be on 50 acres of land and never see anybody.
Yeah.
It's kind of a unique area in New Hampshire, and word spreads fast.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long. We got 1 listing, 2 listings, then 7. As you come through, to give you a snapshot, we've done 20 homes this year. We have another 7 homes under agreement.
Okay.
And the year's not over yet.
Right.
And it all comes from just being good people. Our motto is humans over houses.
Yeah. No, that makes sense to me, man. So I mean, your typical clients that you're serving are more on the high net worth. You said that you're kind of filtering out anything below $1 million. You're not really focused on, right? So.
No, I was saying I think that's why people lose business.
Oh, I misunderstood you. Okay, you say yes to. So you actually, I thought you meant you say yes to everything except for below that number. So you're doing more volume. You're doing all price ranges, 6 figures and 7-figure homes.
Correct.
So your ideal client kind of ranges a bit, I guess. And
you want to know what our ideal client is?
Yeah.
If I had to,
what's your Yes, that's what I want to know.
Our ideal client is somebody who values service over experience, right? So our client is more interested in me providing and showing up for you as an individual versus judging you and, hey, I'm coming after you because you own a $2 million house. And our clients who fit really well into that mold actually tend to be folks who are looking to do a couple different transactions. So they really start with, hey, I need help buying a house or selling a house, but they also tend to have things going on in the background. They might have inherited something. I had this happen where a gentleman actually had inherited a car wash while we were looking for a home with him, and he didn't know what to do with it, so he said, well, could you help us? So our clients are more interested in that experience and versatility than they are in, wow, you're the name brand, so I'm going to put my house with you.
Right.
And we've had some friction there, and when we stand behind that and say, I may not understand all the environmental reports in the world, right? But I can get myself educated, I can find somebody who can help us do this, and I'm a decent person, and you can trust me to make this work. That's resonated, and that's how we're kind of taking over this market in comparison to what I was saying, where other realtors and other firms are only interested in the price tags.
Yep.
They only all work with this kind of person.
And you said it's really all this business is coming from people that are just telling other people about the service that they're getting with you.
Like any realtor, we also buy leads. Like that's a good way to offset stuff. But no worries. The majority of our business is referrals, and it started small. Referrals, just work in your network. Just showing up, and it's gone all over the place. I've sold $1 million houses, I've sold $1 million car washes, and I've even helped first-time home buyers do it. That's the fun, I think, and the secret sauce to this business.
Yeah, no, clearly people are seeing value in you if they've got a house, but then they all of a sudden they've got a car wash. And they're still turning to you to help them out. They want to work with you based on the service that they're getting. That makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, what do you find now is something that's challenging or what's getting in the way for you to make this business even bigger? Because I'm assuming, based on just what I know about you, you're trying to grow this thing. You're not at your peak yet. As to I think you're hungrier than that. So. What, if anything, gets in the way or is challenging for you to continue to grow the business from here?
Finding the right people, right? So,
like
kind
your
of
teammates, you mean?
Exactly.
Right, because you can't be everywhere at one time.
And that's where we're at actually at the moment, right? Is we're hitting a point where you can't be everywhere at once. The business continues to keep moving, and you make a decision of either we bring on some folks to help out, or we don't take on any more business. Obviously, the preferred decision is take on more business and hire some more people.
Yeah.
But the challenge really comes from finding the right person. What we're finding here is our way of doing things, though it sounds kind of cliche and like how hard can it be, is actually very hard to do in practice. We bump in and work with people all the time who put up roadblocks unnecessarily. And when you say, wait, isn't this about buying and selling the home? Your seller wants to sell us the house. We want to buy the house. What's the problem? They just can't see those correlations.
Yeah.
And so finding the right people is our issue actually at the moment.
Yeah.
Who do we want to work with?
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So, I mean, the future for you really tied to finding the right talent. And as far as so long as you're able to do that, then sky's the limit.
That's the idea, and I prefer younger folks.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the older generation, but the scene has changed, right? There's tech involved. You've got AI. I'm sorry, but if you want to get ahead in this world, you can't be working, 9 to 5 as a real estate agent or as an entrepreneur.
Sure,
you own your
yeah.
own business, you're on. That doesn't mean you can't have a work-life balance, and I don't mind that term, but I think it's more of a circle. You should be able to work like this. You can go on vacation and still make phone calls and still help. But again, finding someone to work is another huge barrier.
So you brought up something that's interesting. Obviously, yeah, tech, AI. We're in an industry, real estate, that a lot, especially the older generation, doesn't really think that there's much that can be facilitated or helped by tech. But what are you doing, or how are you looking at tech and AI as something that can help what you do?
It's embedded in everything I do every single day.
Really?
Idea that ChatGPT is something we should be nervous about and run away from is wrong. The amount of time it saves, it's not because you're not getting my thoughts and my content and my information. It's all the little stuff. Like I use this thing called Fixer AI. It's pretty damn good at figuring out what's in the email and drafting a response that captures about 85% of what I want to say.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
I still have to have my opinion and my thoughts, but the time that you spent in the past typing out that email, retyping the email, formatting it, it's now done. You can spend the time, jump in, add your 3 things you need, and send it, which means I can answer emails faster, I can service clients better, because I have some of these tools.
Yeah.
ChatGPT now also acts like an assistant for me. So things like scheduling and updating calendars, they have that autopilot feature. I think it's called autopilot, where you can just sign in and it'll go into my email. And as long as I say, schedule these 3 things, here's the content, here's the time, here's the dates, it'll do it. It takes time.
Yeah.
Also frees up my admin to help out more, because that would be something she would be doing anyways.
Totally.
So now I'm getting better productivity out of her too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, man, I'm with you. I totally embrace it. I think that we're only at the beginning of seeing how this can help really every aspect of all businesses. So
I think it might motivate some folks too. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we have 2 different views probably on this, but I think my generation, I'm saying
you're
this
Gen
younger
Z. I'm a millennial.
Well, okay, so even better.
Yeah.
Looking at it from that view, I think, tend to struggle as a whole finding motivation to do things because everything seems so daunting, right? I talk to some of my peers, and I do.
Apparently, your generation feels that everything is too daunting, so why bother?
Exactly,
Yes.
right? So now you have this awesome tool that can kind of make things less daunting, right? Which, the term daunting and all that only happened in the last 5 years. And it's the same processes. All of a sudden, it just became harder just because.
Yeah.
I totally disagree. But I think AI will help with some of that,
I think you're right, actually, because like in a world where we want things to be made easier for us, like if something can be made easier, then theoretically, then it shouldn't be as intimidating to try to apply yourself. So that's actually, that's a very good way of looking at it. I think you're right. Hopefully it does help, because I know there's a lot of young people right now that are not sure that they really want to apply themselves.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that there's so many ways to make excuses not to do things.
Yeah.
And reasons why things aren't happening. But I think going in line again with that AI stuff, I mean, you're really getting the leg up on so many things that you're in control of.
Right.
The previous generations couldn't get the information we can. You want to start a business, you could learn how to do it like that. Those tools haven't been available for years in the past.
Right.
And now we have them, and nobody takes advantage of them.
Yeah. Well, at least the minority only today is, but should be interesting to see where things go with that. So I don't have any other specific questions for you, but is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers about either your space or your company that we haven't talked about?
I mean, if you're looking to make a move up into the New Hampshire, Vermont area, we're your guys.
Oh, you do Vermont also?
We do the entire state of Vermont. So
okay.
Next we don't have a presence in that state yet. Hopefully maybe somebody will open a franchise in there, but as of now, because of where Lebanon's located,
Yeah.
right on the
Okay.
we go up and down. I was just in Grafton, Vermont last week. We go up to Killington, the whole nine. So it's,
Got it.
it's rough.
Cool, man. All right. Well, Spencer, this has been a great conversation. Thanks for taking the time to join me today and share your story and your insights. I enjoyed the conversation. For anyone that wants to learn more about Spencer's company, you can check him out at nexthomemodernrealty.com. Like he said, if you're looking for a place up in New Hampshire or Vermont, he's your guy, it sounds like. So
That's true.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for today's episode of Liftoff. If you've enjoyed this conversation, be sure to follow the podcast and feel free to share it with others. We'll see you next time. Thanks again, Spencer.
Anytime. Thank you.